Back here on SportsLine, back to football now as well. Titans rookie camp done. Talked about Vrabel this morning on the radio, talking about how he chewed out the rookies for making a mess of the place yesterday morning. He just got a chance to work with them on the field over the weekend, though. And first impressions, always good to have as a head coach and look at what was out there. And I think for the most part, he was pleased with what he saw. Here was the head coach talking about his top pick, talking about all those rookies who were there for rookie camp over the weekend.
Your top draft pick, erring on the side of caution?
Just, I listen to Todd. We defer, to Todd. So, we all have to, we got to get these guys in here. We got to study. We got to learn what to do, teach them our program. And, so if he's back out there tomorrow, then we'll coach him up.
Obviously, you expect these guys to come in shape, but how much is something like that to be expected?
I think it's hard to think that they can recreate, with a trainer, how we do things. And we see that with guys that have come back and started with our off-season program and guys that have joined a few weeks in. It's just different. And I know that they're working and they think that they are trying to get in shape, but that's just not the case. And so that's something that we have to focus on and try to make sure that we're getting some work in. But, with all of them, trying to be as smart as we possibly can, Jim.
What do you look for, Mike, maybe on the first day? These guys are going to make mistakes. You want to teach them the right way, but, know what has to
happen. Who can keep their composure, who can try to be poised, who has some instincts when it's chaotic and be able to fight through some of that. And I think we all saw that in the team period. It might have started out okay and then, really just went downhill from there. And, with the operation and the cadence and just the, quarterback center exchange, that's critical, but, not going to make a whole lot of excuses. But when a quarterback meets the center last night and their first opportunity to go out on the field and snap is today, some of those things happen, and we just ask them to, try to be able to fight through that and not stand around and not finish the play.
How do you feel about the way Malik was able to kind of get the guys in and out of the huddle, get the play regurgitated?
Yeah, I thought it got better. I think it got better in 7-on-7, and that's all we're looking for is to make some improvements and have a great attitude, be coachable, be willing to learn. It's fun to try to get this group together, and it's just be able to coach and teach them new things and teach them stuff that we do.
There was one stretch late where he maybe had 3 tough throws, but then he came back and made a couple really good throws, one up the middle to a tight end. You like the way he kind of bounces?
It didn't seem like, we just talked about not letting anything affect you. You're going to get in the huddle. We have done this for a few years now, so they all look the same. Right, there's going to be the quarterback center exchange. There's going to be the calls in the huddle that get called backwards and get called the wrong way. The left guard's going to go to the right when he's supposed to go to the left, and he's going to run into the tackle, and the play's not going to look very good. We've been through it, and I showed him examples of it last year. I said this is going to happen today. As much as we don't want it to happen, it's going to happen. We have to regroup. And I think he did that. I think that's a great example of him. You're going to have incompletions. It was good to see him take care of the football. Run when he needed to run, trying to show him all these things of how we want to play the game.
What's the balance of him running and taking off rather than in practice trying to make a play down the field, let a guy go up and get the football, and how do you balance that?
Well, I think that you want to try to practice the way that hopefully you're going to play in the game. And, we want to be aggressive. We don't want to be reckless. We understand how critical taking care of the football is. And, a lot of that is just risk reward and being instinctive. We don't want robots. We want players that know what to do, that are in our system, that can be poised, and then when it's time to be instinctive, be instinctive.
Will the rookies be on their own next week and then join the veterans the following week, or what will their plan be?
Oh no, these guys will be rolling Monday morning with us, and I think we'll probably have them lift early, Jim. Lift early on their own so that when the vets go and lift, they can steal some extra meeting time with the coaches. But they'll be out here on the field with us, which is great, phase 2. And they'll be able to see, where our guys are that have been here with us, the type of condition that they're in, what their skill set looks like, and then start that whole competition with the roster.
Sorry. What'd you make of Ryan's comment about not his job to mentor Malik?
I thought Ryan handled that very well. I thought he was genuine. I thought he was authentic, and I know Ryan is a great teammate. Everybody here knows he's a great teammate, and that is not his job. His job is to prepare to help us win a bunch of games and be a great teammate and help out. And I know that he's going to do that. So that was not any sort of issue for me.
How did you handle those kind of situations yourself, Mike, when you were maybe an older player? And did you go out of your way to try and coach up younger guys at your position, or was it everybody, compete, or how did you handle that?
Well, everybody competes, and whether there's younger guys or, 1 year you show up to camp and there's 7 linebackers that have all started in the National Football League. That's a competitive room. But you always try to be respectful. I was brought along by an organization with some really good veterans, and that's what I want to try to recreate. That Pittsburgh Steelers team when I showed up there in 1997, and had guys like Dermontti Dawson, Will Wolford, Jerome obviously joined that, Levon Kirkland, Carnell Lake. I mean, these are some guys that I will never forget how they treated me when Jerry Osofsky, who now coaches. I mean, these are memories that I have that are very vivid. Changing positions and being frustrated, and Dermontti Dawson saying, "Hey, bring your golf clubs over." I'd never played golf at a country club before, and then, these guys, Mike Tomczak is trying to take care of me, and those are things that I'll never forget, and that's what I want to try to recreate here.
Hey, Mike, were you surprised by the reaction that comment got, the press conference, but specifically that phrase from him got?
No, we've been through this. I'm not going to try to take a gauge on the social media reaction, because I think that they're all
like it's being talked about NBA playoff games and stuff.
I don't know, bud. I mean, I really, it's hard for me to gauge. I just can go by what I know and how I feel. And like I said, I thought it was genuine. I thought Ryan was authentic, and I'm excited to get everybody working together and building competition. Everybody on our team knows that we're trying to build competition throughout every position. And we've been through this. Like the veterans' job is to, come in here ready to go. And we're trying to find younger, better, cheaper players. That's how it goes every year. And their job is to not let that happen. And I told them, I watched every draft when I was playing, because I knew that they were drafting players in my position, and I had to be better than them, or I wasn't going to have a job.
You're on tryouts. What do they need to show you to stick around a little longer past this weekend?
Well, how much information can they absorb quickly? How can they push through mistakes, a skill set maybe that we didn't see on tape? Are they better than somebody that we signed in the post-draft? So we'll get a better gauge of where they're at after, tomorrow, and we'll give them a full opportunity to compete.
Schedule came out last night. Any thoughts on how it laid out and with 4 primetime games?
No, I know that's an exciting time in the NFL. Exciting for our fans. I think we've gotten a lot of activity over there with season tickets, and that's exciting. So we're excited to play the Giants opening week and then see where that journey takes us. And we know that a lot of things happen along that 17 games in 18 weeks, where you play on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, the bye's early, the bye's late. It takes a lot of different twists and turns.
Coach, I saw Mason and Christian out.
Yeah, we had four players. Yeah. So there's 4 different groups of players here, Kayla, this weekend. Christian DeLauro, Mason, Kinsey, Shai Carter, and Rodney Clemens. So those players qualify for the rookie minicamp. So those guys have been here working. They can do the minicamp. We'd asked them to do it. They wanted to do it. They had been working, practicing. And then there's the draft picks. There's the undrafted players, and then the tryout players. So those are the 4 different groups of players that are participating.
Could those guys be an asset to the younger guys who are going through this?
You hope so. You hope so, that they can, show them how to, run a route, what the individual drill looks like, certain technique, cadence or details or any kind of tip that they can give them. I think it helps. We talked to all 4 of those guys, and I think that they've done that. They've been here. They can kind of explain how things go.
I understand what you said about Burks and that it could happen to anybody, but it happened to him. Your number 1 pick, the receiver.
Yeah. What are my thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, just
I don't
here's the
want to
guy
really
you
just
spent
try.
all
I
the
don't.
capital on.
We all have a long way to go, and we all have a lot to improve on. And I think the great thing with this group, is maybe we can only improve some of those veteran players just a little bit, man. We're searching for things, and we'll use Kev Byard example. Like, hey, Kev, what can we do just this much better? all these players out here on that field today, there's a lot for them to work on. So they're all going to have some good days. They're all going to have some great days, and hopefully we can avoid the bad days.
Along those lines, how important is this time for them so they don't get thrown right into training camp with veterans to have these days?
Really the next 6 weeks are going to be the critical ones. Right, the next 6 or 7 weeks, the 5 weeks that they're going to have with the veterans, with OTAs starting and really kind of seeing the speed in which we're going to operate, and then the 2 weeks that they have left after the veterans leave for the summer. So that's what we tell them. They got to catch up. Right now they're behind, and they understand that they have to catch up.
Initial impressions of Theo Jackson. Initial impressions of Theo Jackson.
I'm really positive. I've just enjoyed meeting him when he came for the local day, and just the kid that's right up the street there in Overton. Just liked his attitudes, answered a bunch of questions right today, kind of shows up, and I think he's really going to be a nice addition, to our team. It was really cool to be able to see him here for that local day and visit with him, watch him. He worked out. It wasn't like he was adverse to working out. He came and worked out in the rain, and we were excited to be able to take him.
It seemed like you had some positive words for Chig and Okonkwo out there. With a guy like that, what do you like about him, and how do you bring him along as far, because he's so versatile?
Yeah, I think there's going to